The best two words in sports. Game 7.
The last time we got a Game 7 was about a decade ago, and we all remember how that ended.
It's exciting, man. It's so exciting. As a basketball fan, there's nothing like a Game 7.
The 2025 NBA Finals looked like it was going to be the most exciting Game 7 yet. But we were robbed of what could have been the greatest Game 7 in NBA history. It descended into one of the most painful Game 7s in recent memory. After falling behind 3-2 in the series, Indiana returned home for Game 6 and delivered one of their most complete performances of the entire postseason.
Here comes Halliburton, Siakam, Nesmith, corner three, bang!
From the very beginning, the Pacers dictated the tempo, smothered the Thunder with their defense, and overwhelmed them with sharp, unselfish ball movement.
Halliburton steals it.
Cross court, Siakam for the slam!
He got it to Siakam, who threw down the right-hand tomahawk. It's a 20-point lead.
OKC looked rattled. Their momentum was broken, and their confidence shook. TJ McConnell turned into a madman. The ball zipped, the defense suffocated, and the Pacers looked unbeatable. By the end of the night, they had seized every ounce of momentum in the series. But historically, does that kind of momentum actually mean anything? Let's look at the numbers. There have been 19 Game 7s in the NBA Finals, and these are the teams that forced a Game 7. 9 out of 19 went on to win the title. That's nearly a 50% shot for the team carrying momentum. But the team with the early series lead still holds a slight edge, winning 10 out of 19 times. So while the scales lean ever so slightly, Game 7 is a coin flip. The opening minutes were electric. Tyrese Halliburton came out swinging.
Halliburton launches another one. Puts it in. Back-to-back threes for Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton tries again. Halliburton hits again. His third three-pointer already.
Hitting 3 of his first 4 shots, dropping 9 points in just 7 minutes. The Pacers jumped out to an early 5-point lead. They were playing fast, decisive basketball. And it looked like the Thunder were the team trying to hold on. Indiana was 41 minutes away from completing one of the most improbable championship runs in NBA history. And that's what made it so surreal, because the Indiana Pacers weren't even supposed to be here.
We all we got. We all we need right here. Let's get to it. Here we go. 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
On May 2nd, 2024, the Pacers took down the 3-seeded Milwaukee Bucks in 6 games. Just like that, they had their first playoff series win in a decade. The last time they got that far was back in 2014, when Paul George was still wearing yellow. An entire era passed by before Indiana even tasted the second round again. They were a 6th seed with 47 wins. They had just traded for Pascal Siakam mid-season, yet no one really gave them a chance. According to Vegas, the Pacers had just a 0.76% chance at reaching the NBA Finals. Not even 1%. They were lined up to face the second-seeded Knicks in round 2, a team fresh off its first 50-win season in over a decade. This was New York's year. The Garden was alive again. But Indiana couldn't care less.
Oh, Toppin goes the
sent New York home in 7. Just weeks earlier, they had barely celebrated their first series win in 10 years. Now, they were back in the Eastern Conference Finals, exactly where they had been a decade ago. And waiting for them was their toughest test yet. The 64-win Boston Celtics, the favorites, the best team in basketball. And just when the moment felt too big to be true, in Game 2, Tyrese Haliburton injured his hamstring. The engine of their offense was gone. Without him, the Pacers were swept.
The Celtics are heading back to the NBA Finals, and another crushing finish for these Indiana Pacers.
But here's the thing. Even after that magical run to the conference finals, no one saw them as a real threat. If we take a look at the title odds, the Boston Celtics opened with a 20% probability. The Celtics were looking to repeat. The Knicks and Thunder close behind, both above 10%. Meanwhile, the Pacers sat at 1%, despite last year's efforts. As the season progressed, the Thunder, with 68 wins, stormed to the top with 33% odds heading into the playoffs. And the Pacers? They had their first 50-win season in 11 years, locking in the 4th seed in the East, but still sat at just 1%. Didn't move the needle. Despite winning 50 games, over a third of the league had better odds than them. But the Pacers didn't care, and the league had no idea what was coming.
What's up, y'all? Good morning. Happy playoffs. What a time.
Every year, The Athletic runs its anonymous player poll. Most of the results are predictable. 50% voted Victor Wembanyama as the league's future face. 60% voted the Celtics to repeat. Warriors held their spot as the league's gold standard. Nothing out of the ordinary. Until the most overrated category came up. Usually, names like Rudy Gobert or Trae Young topped that list. But this year, there was a new name. Tyrese Haliburton. 15% of the league, his own peers, voted him the most overrated player in the league. Even Giannis got 2% votes. Giannis, a superstar who's averaged 30 and 12 for 5 straight years. He won an MVP, a title, a finals MVP, and somehow he was overrated too? But Haliburton laughed it off.
Not worried about, what anybody thinks. My teammates trust me. So does, my front office, my coaching staff. So I'm good. I could care less.
The whole thing's bullshit, okay? And the other guys on the list were Jimmy Butler and Giannis. Jimmy Butler would be a finalist for MVP if, he had gotten to Golden State a month and a half earlier. I mean, what that guy's done. And Giannis, are you kidding me? I'm done. Thank you.
None of us, not even them, knew what was coming. In the first round of the 2025 playoffs, the Pacers were matched up with an old rival. Last time, Indiana was the underdog. This time, they were the 4 seed, the favorite. Still, with 18 seconds left in Game 5, they were down 2, staring at a Game 6 in Milwaukee. Haliburton had the ball. He knew exactly what had to be done.
Game clock, shot clock. Haliburton to the rim. Ties it. 10.8 to go. Giannis backing in. Spinning. Jumper doesn't go. Overtime in Game 5.
Overtime came. The Bucks built a 7-point lead with 40 seconds left. The bench was already celebrating. everyone thought it was over.
Nembhard with a three. Good. Still time to go.
But this Pacers team didn't flinch.
The steal. Halliburton attacking. And the foul.
As soon as you pick it up, you give the advantage to the defense.
1 point game to Green. Trent with it, and he loses it on a brilliant night. Here we go. Halliburton. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Halliburton for the lead.
Yeah, the rest is history.
And the Pacers are moving on. What a comeback in overtime.
In the second round, they faced Cleveland, a team that had shocked the league with 64 wins. The Cavs were supposed to breeze through. Led by Donovan Mitchell, Vegas gave the Pacers just a slim 20% chance. But Indiana had other plans.
Do a much better job of getting open.
Misses. Halliburton the rebound. They do have a timeout. Carlisle's going to let him play. Halliburton steps back and hits.
The Pacers shut down Cleveland in 5 games.
Man, even Steven, Cleveland, Tyrese is leaving. Pacers in 5.
And just like that, Indiana was back in the conference finals. It was the Knicks again, the same team they had ended just a year ago. Now healthier, angrier, and favored to win this series. Game 1 was at the Garden. The Knicks held a 9-point lead with under a minute left in the game. They thought they had sealed it. But history has a funny way of repeating itself.
Smith again, 3, got it! He's a flamethrower!
The ball bounced, felt like it was in the air for days.
They didn't need 7 games. They finished it in 6. And now, they were finals bound. It had been 25 years since Indiana made the NBA Finals. And waiting for them was a juggernaut, the 68-win Oklahoma City Thunder. But even in the finals, Halliburton's clutch gene didn't flinch. In Game 1, they trailed the entire way through, unable to capture a lead. Pacers were 15 points down in the 4th. OKC thought they had control, but history often has a funny way of showing up again.
The Pacers with a chance to win it. Final seconds, no fouls to get him. Halliburton looking. Halliburton driving. Pulls off, jump shot. It's gone! It's gone! With 3/10 of a second remaining. Timeout, OKC. Tyrese Halliburton does it again. Their first lead of the game.
For the 4th straight round, a clutch dagger came from the so-called most overrated player in the league. Was now the face of one of the greatest postseason runs in modern NBA history. After that win, the Pacers' championship odds jumped to 25%, the highest they'd been all year. The following games were a dogfight. Pacers took a 2-1 lead. OKC responded with 2 straight wins. Indiana answered back in Game 6. And now, we were here. Game 7. Tied with 16 in the first quarter, Obi Toppin swung the ball to Haliburton at the top, and just as Tyrese planted to drive, his calf recoiled. Instantly, it looked like what everyone feared, an Achilles tear.
Breaking news this afternoon. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, joins us now. What more can you tell us about this devastating injury?
He's risen to superstardom in the NBA, but his Achilles tear now likely puts him out all of next season.
Looking back, it's easy to say he should have sat out. But we all know that's not how it works. If he had missed this game, the fans would have called him soft. Media would have questioned his leadership. Some were already accusing him of faking the injury before Game 7 even began.
I hate the way it is talked about at times. A player plays through an injury and struggles from the field when he ain't given enough. A player decides to not play, and now he don't care about the team.
That's the trap athletes fall into. But the Pacers didn't fold. TJ McConnell ascended into superstar level of domination that he single-handedly began torching the OKC Thunder. A 5'11" backup point guard was being triple-teamed in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The Thunder were sweating. It felt like the Pacers were about to steal it. Again. And maybe, just maybe, they would have if Haliburton never got hurt. Injuries steal moments. They rob the game of its true competitiveness. Also, these are only the Achilles injuries this year. This is the full list, by the way. Countless stars have gone down this season. Some may not even play next year. And despite all the advancements in sports science, injuries are rising every year. Maybe it's time to cut the season to 70 games. Maybe it's time to add rest days between playoff matchups. Because this wasn't how it was supposed to end. Indiana had clawed through 4 rounds of basketball, every round sealed with a moment of magic, every round defined by heart. This could have been the most earned championship in NBA history. But not every story ends the way we want. Injuries have always been part of the game. A cruel truth that's existed since the dawn of competition. This year, OKC was supposed to win. 68 wins. Dominant all season. But even if they were the favorites, we all expected one thing. A Game 7 that would go the distance. But the universe had other plans. It didn't just rob us of a fair finish. It robbed us of the greatest Game 7 in NBA history. And years from now, when we talk about this game, it won't be the champions we remember first.